Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yulisa. I am a notary public and a loan signing agent. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the most common notary mistakes. That I've seen happen or that I've made myself. So let's get right into it. The most common mistake that I've seen notaries make by far is missed signatures, missed initials, missed dates, anything that was missed. The second mistake that I've seen is documents are not being dropped off at FedEx, UPS on time or within a reasonable time frame. When you accept an order, you need to realize that you're accepting that order and you need time for either it's requesting scanbacks, you need time for scanbacks. You need to go drop it off a title, you need to make time for that, or drop it off at FedEx or UPS. You need to allow yourself time. You can be booked fully back to back every single day, all the time, with just different title companies and signing services and expect to just at the end of the day or the next morning drop off docs. That's not the way it works. These title companies need the docs as soon as possible. If you did an 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. signing, you need to allow yourself time before noon to drop off those docs. And that's some issues that I've had with notaries that I work with is I expect them to deliver docs within a reasonable time. I did have a notary who had a signing at 6 in the morning and I didn't get docs drop off at FedEx till like right before 5 p.m., which again, not the ideal time for a signing service or owner or a title company. So just keep that in mind that when you accept an order, you accept it fully, not just to do the signing, but you need to allow yourself time to drop off those docs and or scan back. Another thing that ties with the second mistake, the third mistake that I've seen, they either do not drop everything that needs to be dropped off in the envelope, so they don't it's not a complete package. And I know mistakes happen and I know mistakes will be done because we're not perfect and we're human, but we need to try and avoid as many of these mistakes as possible. Make sure you're not the person who makes these mistakes all the time. So they didn't drop off the cashier check with the docs. I think she misplaced it and then she found it, or I don't know what it was, but they were not dropped off with docs, and if we didn't get a cashier check in time, then it wouldn't fund, and it had to be funded like as soon as possible. So the notary had to pay out of her own money to just send out that cashier check on its own for next day delivery. And again, that was something that could have been avoided. You have to always just double check. As soon as you're done with the signing, I usually, whenever I did signing services, I would carry the UPS or FedEx envelopes with me, and as soon as I was done with the signing, it like right there at the table, it would go in that envelope. Just so you don't misplace anything. Or right now I use just regular plastic envelopes that I bought off Amazon, and again, just to keep everything safe, because I still carry cashier checks around sometimes. So just be organized with your business and the way you handle things, especially important documents and checks like those. So if that notary would have misplaced that cashier check like I think she originally did, she would have had to pay out of her pocket, like I think it was $13,000 that were needed. And sometimes it's like from where, so really be organized and careful when you carry your docs around. Another mistake, Notaries forget to get a cashier check from their client, and then the client calls back and says the notary never asked for it, and now title just has to send like us. It just creates a whole big deal. If you were told there was a cashier check to be picked up, then it's your responsibility to ask for it. And if for some reason the client doesn't have it, then you immediately let escrow and title know that there was no cashier picked up, that you asked for it and they didn't have it. So it's off of your responsibility, because again, they wouldn't want to work with a notary who was asked for it, who was told to get a cashier check, didn't ask for it, and then the client calls back saying, hey, I still have it, how do I send it? And then they have to pay extra postage, and just for the inconvenience, they won't want to use you anymore. So again, just make sure that you're organized, that you know what you need from your borrowers and your signers, and that you know what you need to let title know, just in case they don't have something, or give them the option of wire transferring, and let them, like, always let your title know how the appointment went, what you advised them to do, like if you told them to get a wire transfer because they didn't have a cashier's check, etc. Scambacks. Scambacks has been one of the biggest issues, I think, with me hiring notaries to do the work for me, because when I hire a notary, typically it's been out of state mostly. I do have some notaries that I work with in state, but mostly it's been out of state. And so when I ask for scambacks, we need scambacks to be able to fund as soon as possible. If I gave you a 6 a.m. appointment in Virginia, and it's like 3 hours ahead from here, I expect scambacks at least by 7 a.m. my time, which is before title opens, to be able to hand over the scambacks to title, and then you drop those docs as soon as possible to make next day delivery. And so that didn't happen. I always have to call my notaries or text my notaries or be on them, like, where are scambacks? It's been past 4 hours and I don't have scambacks. It's been past 3 hours and I don't have scambacks. And I do let them know that a reasonable time is 2 hours. But this year I'll do it different, where I'll have a disclosure just stating that if you do not drop docs, if you don't send scambacks within that 2 hour frame with a reasonable explanation, not letting me know that you're fully booked, that's not a reasonable explanation. But if you don't send them on time, I will deduct from the fee, because that's only fair. I'm expecting these docs, title is expecting these docs, and at the end of the day, those are my clients that I need to keep happy. Otherwise, I lose their business and I can't give anyone any business. So scambacks. Again, if you accept an order that says scambacks, make sure you have the time. 2 hours is a reasonable time to send those scambacks. If you do not have time, do not accept that order. This other mistake kind of goes with all the ones that I just said, but notaries overbook themselves. They overbook themselves, and then they don't have time to drop docs, scambacks, check docs, confirm appointments. They don't have time to do all the other important things, just as important as taking a signing. For some reason, notaries think that the only important part of our job is taking the signing and being an excellent notary at the signing table, but then forget to be an excellent notary for all the other tasks. You have to be an excellent notary all throughout your entire job. Your job is not completed until title receives those docs. And we need to remember that. And so some people overbook themselves, and then not only overbook themselves to the point where they can't drop off or pick up docs or don't have time to scan, but they overbook themselves in the way that they try to schedule in signings right, like one after another, without giving themselves time. I've seen cases where notaries try to schedule their signings 30 minutes, like one at 10 and one at 10:30, which is doable. Again, it's doable if you work at a title company, you're taking it at the same location, and title is aware, they scheduled it for you, and if you aren't able to meet the time, they'll be okay with it. But if you have to drive from one place to another, those appointments are really tricky, especially if it's a full loan signing. So I've seen notaries fail because they try to book 20, not 20, but they try to book 15 appointments in one day. And there's just no way. Sometimes there's no way because you don't have time to do all the other things. And plus, you're having people angry at you because you're late or because they're waiting for you at the lobby for too long, or etc. So do not overbook. I know we all try to make as much money as we can, but your business will fail if you overbook and you cannot meet your client satisfaction, or you cannot make your clients happy. Another mistake that I've seen is lack of communication with the notary and the notary to the signing service or the notary to the title company. Just overall, a simple text letting title know what's going on, what happened, why docs were delayed, or why you were late to the appointment, or you're going to be late to the appointment, or let them know, hey, your signing appointment went great. Don't ghost your signing services or your title companies. Communication is key, and if you have a great communication throughout, both before, during, after signing, trust me, you'll be at the top of the list of their preferred notaries, because they want that. They want communication. They want to know what's going on. They want to be a part of the signing, because at the end of the day, they want to also meet and exceed their clients' expectation, their clients being lenders and realtors. And then lenders and realtors want to exceed and want to meet and exceed their expectations with their clients being the borrowers and the signers. So at the end of the day, communication is key for everyone. Just remember that, to be as communicative as possible. Obviously, don't overdo it to the point where you're bothering them every 5 minutes, but like, hey, appointment was confirmed, I'll be stopping by in a few. So just communication is key. That brings me to another point. Some notaries do not confirm appointments with the signers, and trust me, your signing services and your title companies know. Sometimes I've had signers call me directly when I scheduled a notary for this assignment, and they're like, so you told me I have this appointment, but nobody has confirmed with me. And so that's when I have to reach out and ask the notary what's going on. And it happens very often that people just try and show up to the appointments because you pre-scheduled them for them, but you want to confirm. You don't want to drive all the way over there not confirming and not knowing if the signer is really going to be there or if it still works. I get scheduled appointments from title and I confirm, and sometimes signers change the time when I called them because they realize it doesn't work and they want a better time. So always make sure you just confirm your appointments. You don't want to make a trip if you don't have to. And then the last point that I'm going to talk about is notaries, I guess organization, which you've seen throughout a lot of these mistakes, but particularly not keeping track of your calendar. The very first thing that I try to do, thankfully I have never gone through this, but I feel like I'm scared that I'm going to go through it sometime, because I get calls from sometimes signing services, hey, can you fit in a 3 p.m. for tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I mainly do title and direct business, but if signing services call me and I will take it. I will do it. So I get calls, I get texts from one title, I get texts from another, I get emails from another. So if I do not schedule in those appointments as soon as I receive them, or as soon as humanly possible, then I'm going to miss an appointment. It's just bound to happen. So, and I'm really scared of that. I'm really scared about missing an appointment, I'm really scared of not showing up to an appointment that I had scheduled, especially one that I've had scheduled for a while. So I'm so scared of that. So what I try to do to avoid that is just really, as soon as I get an appointment, if I'm able, throw it in my schedule. I have Notary Gadget, which It's really easy for me to use and add my appointments, and I can go on like Safari on my phone. So I can go on internet browser on my phone, log into Notary Gadget, and add an appointment. All I do is just click to add a new appointment, find the client that assigned me that work, and then if I have a name, I'll write the name and the appointment time, and obviously the address. That's what I do. And as soon as I can, if I'm in a signing, I know that as soon as I am done with this signing, I have this appointment to throw in my calendar, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to skip an appointment, I'm going to miss an appointment, and that would be the worst. I think that would be one of the worst things. I don't know. I just think that. But again, just make sure you keep your business organized. This is a business. I know I've said this so many times, but this is a business. So just make sure you keep yourself organized. Right now with tax season, I've been having to just go through a bunch of just invoices and checks and verify that I've been paid for all this work. And I'm still going through it, but I think I'm missing money. And I thought I was like on top of it. I thought that every month I had a report going, that if I didn't get paid by, if it was like mid-November, I would go and check all my October invoices, make sure that they were paid, and send out a report invoice with all the missing payments. I thought I had a good system going, but apparently I don't, because I think I'm missing a couple $1,000. And so I need to finish doing all of that. But again, organization is key for your business. If you do not organize your receipts, and you do not organize your expenses and your appointments, and you do not organize your time, you don't have an organizational system, you are going to be stressed out. You're going to stress out. You are going to fail somewhere. Somewhere you're going to see it drown. We obviously want to avoid that as much as possible. And so again, I know, we all know, title knows, everybody knows that we are not perfect, that we are human beings. I've made mistakes. Everybody has made mistakes, and everybody will continue to make mistakes, but let's try to avoid as many mistakes as possible, because if you're one of those people who make mistakes on your signings, one after the other, title's going to pick that up, and it's going to be like, don't give her business. So again, at the end of the day, let's try to avoid these mistakes. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you liked it, and I hope you have a beautiful day. God bless. Thank you.